Grace and peace to you today on Maundy Thursday. Friends, this is a Maundy Thursday and a Holy Week unlike I've ever experienced, and maybe unlike you've ever experienced too. If you've experienced Maundy Thursday with us at Faithful Shepherd, you know that we have a meaningful and interactive service, one in which we travel throughout our church and we go outside by a campfire symbolic of Peter's warming himself. We wash feet in our narthex. We take communion in the sanctuary, and then we shroud it in black as we leave. It's a very meaningful and powerful worship service. But you'll notice today, right now, I'm not coming to you from the sanctuary of Faithful Shepherd. I'm coming to you from my kitchen table. And that is because it is really important to understand too that this too is a holy and sacred space. You have made your homes holy and sacred places. They are that because God is there, present and abundant, and that is something to never ever forget. So as we approach these 3 days of Maundy Thursday and then leading up to Easter and Resurrection Sunday, we are mindful that the holiness and the sacredness can be found right here. So during this time together, you may hear my dog bark, you may hear my family come in. This is real life, and this is where God is. What I want to do this Maundy Thursday is just have a reflective time together. And while our space is holy, so too are the elements that are around us. And what I wanted to do was find some symbolic elements right around our own homes that can point for us the direction of Holy Week, that can center us on what is truly important. As this is a video, you can pause it at any time you'd like, either to, and I invite you to collect some of these elements, or to spend time on any of the things that we do. Spend a little extra time than what the video will allow. You can pause it and pick it right back up again. So I'm going to introduce to you the elements from around my house that are going to point the way this Maundy Thursday, and I invite you to find something similar if you would like this to be an interactive experience. The first is just a simple candle or light and a way to light it. The second is a pitcher or anything that will hold water filled with water. And to go along with it, a bowl, a towel, the third is something that you might eat. I have a cracker here. Something you might drink. A cup of water. Yours could be juice or wine or anything else that you would drink. And the final elements are some nails, if you have them, or a hammer, or a piece of wood, something that is symbolic of the cross, hangs on the wall. So we're going to journey together for the next few minutes and just have some reflective time of scripture, of pondering, and you are able to pause this at any time you'd like to go a little deeper, a little further. The first thing I'm going to do is light this candle. As you know, we light the Christ candle every Sunday at Faithful Shepherd. It is symbolic of Jesus' presence here with us. Also, on a night like this, I think of Peter warming himself over the fire as he was denying knowing his teacher, what he must have been feeling in that warmth. As we light the candle, we reflect on Jesus' words that he so boldly used in John chapter 8 when he spoke to the people and he said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me won't walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Those words mean a lot. And so no matter how dark your days may seem or be or feel, these may be some of the darkest for you. Know that Jesus is the light of the world and that in him is the light of life. Never ever forget that. So as we have the light of life, we turn to a very symbolic action that Jesus took. So I invite you to get your bowl and your pitcher, your towel out. And we'll read together that story from Maundy Thursday of Jesus washing his disciples' feet. John chapter 13 says, "Before the festival of Passover, Jesus knew that his time had come to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them fully." Jesus and his disciples were sharing the evening meal. The devil had already provoked Judas, Simon Iscariot's son, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew the Father had given everything into his hands and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the table, and he took off his robes. Picking up a linen towel, he tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a wash basin. And he began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was around his waist. When Jesus came to Simon Peter, Peter said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" This act of Jesus was so symbolic and such a gesture of his entire ministry, of what he came to be. He reversed what we think of power, because only the lowliest servant would be charged with washing somebody's dusty, dirty, grimy feet. I invite you to take a few moments, whether by yourself, just to feel the water on your skin, on your hands, to wash your hands, or with a loved one or your family, to wash one another's feet. I want you to reflect on and think about what it feels like to wash one another's feet, what it feels like to have your feet washed, or what it feels like just to have the water on your skin dripping off and drying off. I want you to take your time with this. And also I want you to reflect on service, on servitude. Who in your life has been there in the feet washing moments? Who has shown this kind of servitude to you? What did they do? And to reflect on something else. How might you put Jesus' teaching to do likewise into action this week and in the coming weeks? In your home, with your family, with your coworkers, even if from a distance, with your church family and in your church. What does it feel like and look like to have this kind of service-oriented action? Well, all that foot washing was a part of the Passover meal that they were having by themselves, isolated in that upper room. As part of that meal, Jesus said some very special words. And those words were for his disciples, and they were written down for us so that we might carry them with us. And so as I share from Scripture, from Matthew 26, the narrative of Jesus saying these words that we repeat monthly at least to be the words of institution, I invite you to get out that which you chose to have a bite of and a drink of, or just have it in front of you as a symbol to think of as we read this story from Jesus's Last Supper with his disciples. I invite you to listen to these words from Matthew 26, verses 26 through 30. While they were eating, Jesus took bread, blessed it, broke it, and he gave it to his disciples. And he said, "Take and eat. This is my body." He took a cup, he gave thanks, and he gave it to them, saying, "Drink from this, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many, so that their sins may be forgiven. I tell you, I won't drink wine again until that day when I drink it in a new way with you in my Father's kingdom." Then, after singing songs of praise, they went to the Mount of Olives. This act of communion is one that we do to unite ourselves with the risen Christ and with one another. I invite you to reflect on just that word alone, communion, and how at such a time like this, when we are charged with physical distancing and when we are keeping one another safe by being apart, how that word communion might change with you, for you, and how you might show communion with one another and with the risen Lord. And finally, we know where this night ends. We know where it goes. In a bit, Peter will deny by the cold warmth of the fire. Judas has betrayed. Jesus will be arrested. So I invite you to gather your elements, whether it be nails or something sharp or a hammer. And what I invite you to do is to take hold of them. What I invite you to do is feel the weight of these elements. The weight of the hammer, that which is used to pound nails. Feel the weight of it, the gravity of it in your hand. Feel the sharp stick of the nail as it tries so hard to puncture skin when pushing against it. If you have a piece of wood, feel the grain of the wood. I think this year more than ever before, I have felt the solace and the desolation of the disciples. I know it doesn't touch what they were feeling, but I felt it more than I ever have, and maybe you have too. For them, this night had to feel like the night to end all nights. So as we do on Maundy Thursday, we go out into the world not so joyfully, but we go out after our sanctuary has been shrouded in darkness. We go out into the darkness. We carry with us the light of Christ. I invite you to spend the next couple days reflective and simple. Brothers and sisters, go in peace to love and serve the Lord.